partner of the I-NERGY project here at I-NERGY, and I'm here with Spiros Mouzakitis from our coordinator, ICCS. Hello, Spiros.
Hello to everyone.
Hi, and we are also supported by our colleague Yolanda, who is going to review the chat in case you have any questions, and our colleague Anna as well. Hello, Anna and Yolanda. Yeah, let me quickly. Okay, let me quickly jump into the agenda. So, as mentioned, it's going to be fairly straightforward and focused on your questions. So we will start with a very quick overview from Spiros about the I-NERGY project, a bit of context, and I will review then quickly the second open call, and then of course we will open the floor to your questions, and we will hopefully be able to help you with your applications. Spiros, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Thomas. So artificial intelligence is bound to bring a revolution in the energy sector with a plethora of applications such as fast and accurate forecast, demand and supply predictions, a grid flexibility, optimized maintenance and optimal operation, especially in such times where we have the energy efficiency is in the top of the agenda for the Europe and the trouble we are going through. Next slide, please. But the AI applications and services we build, they go well beyond the growth and the competitiveness of the SMEs, but they hold also a premise for a larger environmental and social impact. And this is a fundamental for our project. And this is something that should be fundamental also to the proposals that we would like to receive. So how these AI services can contribute to the decentralization, democratization, digitalization of energy, how they contribute to the environmental sustainability, how they contribute to alleviating the energy poverty, which is becoming a more serious problem over the years that come, and how they fight the climate change and the environmental degradation. Next slide, please. So our project has the vision of creating a framework for supporting the AI demand on the energy sector, with state-of-the-art AI and data technologies that address to the full range of the energy value chain, from energy commodity networks, AI for optimized operations, the transmission system operators, distribution system operators, as well as energy efficiency in buildings, renewable energy sources, as well as other domains where energy efficiency is very important. Next slide, please. So our main goals is to support the SMEs with funding and mentoring during two technology transfer programs. And the other main goal is to enhance and support the AI on demand platform with AI and resources for the energy sector. Next slide. So the AI on demand platform, you can find it at AI4Europe.eu, where it is the one-stop shop for anyone looking for AI knowledge, tools, technology, services, and experts. Next slide. So the idea of the project is to reinforce and enhance this platform with services from the open calls, as well as the pilot case that we have in the project. And this could take the form of different assets in the form of services, applications, code, documentations, datasets, and machine learning models. Next slide, please. Okay, so I pass the floor now to you, Thomas.
Thank you, Spiros. Okay, the open calls. We have two open calls in the project where we will select 25 partner projects and fund them with up to 2 million euros. That's the generic outlook for the entire I-NERGY project. And what we are looking for here is for projects to to develop building blocks for use cases and small-scale experience and new analytical tools that are tailored for the EPS stakeholders. So prototypes, that was the first open call and the first tech transfer program that has just finalized, and new services, so MVPs, minimal viable products, which are the aim of this second open call and the subsequent tech transfer program. So yeah, 2 energy technology transfer programs all over the project. This is the generic outlook. Now let's go to the second open call, which is the one that we are presenting at the moment, and the QA that we're having today is about this and about your questions. It launched on the 10th of October, and the deadline is the 12th of December, so there's still time for you. Who can apply? A quick overview. We are looking for consortia of 2 members only. On the one hand, an SME, which could be a startup, so a micro SME, a small company, but it has to be a registered company, registered before the open call started. And its role is in the consortium is that of a service developer provider, so the company that actually creates the code, develops the technology. And then the second member is a pilot infrastructure provider or a data owner that could be of any legal entity. And here the role is rather that of providing the data or providing the infrastructure for your MVP, for your development. So the idea is to create this combination. It could actually be a client of yours if you already have one for the use case. Yeah, there are many different options, but that's the consortia part. What we're looking for, the scope, well, we're looking for developing new services on top of existing technologies in the form of minimal viable products. We are selecting 15 applications, winning applications. They will be funded with up to 100,000 euros. And the program that where they will get mentoring will run for 9 months. Let me give you just another quick overview just to make it clear again. So the maximum number of consortium members is 2. And here we see again, on the one hand, we have the pilot infrastructure provider data owner, on the other hand, the service developer or provider. In this case, the SME should be the leading consortium member and should do the application. We also wanted to clarify that, which is an important part. Yeah, so that's about the legal status. You can find all this information in any case in the guide for applicants, which we would like you to read thoroughly to do a good application. And who are we looking for, or who is our ideal candidate? So on the one hand, we are doing this. So the purpose of this call is, as Spiros already mentioned, enriching AI resources and tools catalog for energy on the AI on demand platform, and to support SMEs with funding and mentoring. And our ideal candidate is an SME registered not later than the 10th of October, which was the launch of the open call. You can find a list of the different member states and associated countries in the guide for applicants. It includes the UK and Northern Ireland. Ideally, the use case is according to the scope that we just explained, and would have an initial TRL, technical readiness level of 6, including relevant evidence for that level in the application. and the applicant can use own as well as already existing I-NERGY and other third-party resources in the form of modules, models, and components that are available on the AI or the AI on demand platform. Yeah, the scope, I read it previously. We just want to give you a quick overview here before we start with the questions. Here we have the different areas of experimentation that you can apply in and the challenges that we have created. As you might see at the bottom here, there is an open innovation challenge, which sort of is a bigger box for those elements that are a bit further out there and do not fit in any of the other challenges. So we are fairly open. Please feel free to apply with your use cases. And maybe a very quick overview of what the technology program looks like. As we mentioned, 9 months. We have the first 2 months an inception phase where we have located 2 milestones. On the one hand, the creation of an individual mentoring plan where you will be creating a plan for the development that you are going to do in the 9 months, and you will put your KPIs in there that we will measure you on, and you will do that together with your mentor. And then you have a proof of concept as another deliverable where you get another tranche of the payment. And then you go into the development phase, which are 7 months. And here you're working towards firstly a prototype mockup and then later a minimal viable product. Yeah, and I think that's mostly what we wanted to start with. To give you a quick reminder, we had a longer webinar on this a couple of weeks ago. The recording, you can find it also on the website. So if you need more details here, yeah, so this was just a quick reminder to start the Q&A session. So I believe we are now ready for your questions.
We have one question in the chat.
Mm-hmm.
Can the pilot infrastructure owner be the budget coordinating entity?
No, it should be the SME who should be the consortium leader and who is developing the technology. Spiros, I don't know if you have anything to add here.
Yeah,
I think that's clear, no?
Can an organization of the mining sector be the pilot infrastructure provider or data owner?
I believe yes, but I hand over the question to Spiros.
Yes, if you can specify mining, of course, it could be from any domain that showcase the energy efficiency or energy related service in that section. And the main thing about the pilot infrastructure provider data owner is to ensure that they have access to the data, actual access to the data that you can use within the project. This is the main requirement, I would say.
Okay. How can the TRL level of the technology provider be demonstrated?
For the TRL level, you can, in general, not only about the TRL, but also to get a feeling of the product. Okay, it depends on the case of what is the product. But for instance, you can include a demo video of what you have. If you already have something mature that you can showcase, either in a link to a YouTube or a video that you can share within the application. Or if you have access and it has open access, for instance, to the GitHub repository, or anything that you can show if you have a light demo already of the application. So these are different ways to showcase that the product actually exists. and it is left also to the reviewers to understand the maturity of the product.
Okay, other one. Energy can be raw material.
That's I believe a bit too vague of a question. Could you specify a bit more? To expand a bit more on the question?
I will
Maybe
try.
it's related to with the mining. Yes. What we have to understand more about the application. Like, what is the application within the mining?
In mining, he said.
Is it about
yes.
the energy consumed for the mining?
I will try to unmute Tony Belling, who is the person that is doing the question.
I can
Better.
go?
Yes, we can hear you.
Sorry, I thought it was only you talking. Yes, it's about using AI solutions for the operational functioning of the mining sector. So we have a candidate that is willing to improve the way they operate, not only the way they operate during the lifetime of the mine, but also when it ends up the life of the mine, so for the circular economy. So all these kind of operations by use of AI, would this fit this scenario in I-NERGY?
It's hard for me to say yes or no. We have to see the actual operations that you want to optimize. And I cannot find now something to tell you no, but I'm reluctant also to say yes without having more details about it, to be honest. Is it about the actual process of the mining?
It's also
or
using
is it about
Copernicus
the energy?
AI. Yeah, it's also using AI with Copernicus on for example, there's going to be a flood on the mine. So what to do with Copernicus, for example?
Okay, so comparing, for instance, weather conditions.
Weather conditions, yes.
In order to see when you operate.
Yeah.
And I don't know. To be honest, it seems to be that it's a little bit out of context because it is AI for general operations and not so linked with the energy efficiency.
Yeah, it's also optimization of the resources of the mine because there is a lack of digitalization tools for mining, and this is a hot topic for the European Commission. And so this is to implement AI solutions for the overall operations, not only for the weather, but also for day-to-day operation resources optimization.
The way I see it is, yes, it's very interesting, but maybe there's a call that you can find that's more suitable from my perspective, if it is about the mining operation.
Because you specify
if it is about the resources, let's say how the vehicles operate and the resources about the vehicles or how much energy is saved through these operations, then yes. But if it is about the general business operations, about the engineering part, or
no, it's about resource optimization. So exactly what you said.
Okay, if it is about that, how we can save energy and fuels, for instance, on how better operate, let's say, the mining process in order to have less energy resources, then it is.
Okay, thank you.
So next one is, can the infrastructure provider data owner be a commercial building owner? Is there any restriction regarding the data owner?
Yes, he can be. I would say the biggest restriction is what I said before. If they don't actually have access to this data or they cannot use it within the project, This is the biggest restriction. They need to ensure that you have the sensors, you already have data that you can use in order, and they're sufficient enough in order to produce the AI models that you want in the project.
May I add, and that the data is available at the beginning of the program and can be used from the beginning of the program.
So now there is not any question in the chat. Yeah, this another one. So it's from the same person as the one before. So it's not possible to install after the program?
Thomas, I would say no, because we have seen in the past when it is not actually in the beginning, then there are some issues along the way, and this might, have issues with you, like if it is after 3-4 months, maybe it's too late for them to build your application. That's why it needs to be in the beginning. So when you start without having this issue.
Yeah, the program it's a short program. It's just 9 months, and
yeah. Sorry, Francisco Sousa, who is the person making these questions, wants to talk. I don't know if Katerina, can you unmute him?
Yes, I guess that he can unmute himself.
Okay, so thank you. So maybe it's better to ask the question by voice. So my question is, because in our project, we aim to install our hardware in this commercial building. So that would require us to go there and install this device to start and collect more, let's say, high frequency data, so we could use our AI solution and implement that. So this is the main question I want to address, because if that's not the case, if you cannot install any hardware after the project has been accepted, I don't know if we are enabled to create the solution we went to.
Yes, that's why we ask for that's why the reason we have also a separate partner that currently owns the data. The sensors are already there, for instance, and you already have a system to ingest this data and to acquire them, because we have noticed in the past that there's a problem with it's not always simple, and it would be a problem for both us and for you if we don't have the guarantee from the beginning, and for the review and the external reviewers that will review the application, of course, to know whether this will happen or not. So it will be unfair to the other participants that already have this installed. This is the issue.
Okay, so that means that we cannot employ any hardware in the solution. Like, it's not advisable to write that in the proposal because of these restrictions, right?
No, to clarify, I didn't say that you cannot install. I said that in the beginning of the project, you need to have the infrastructure and the data. If along the program you can install, then you can do more things. Maybe you need more additional data that you can add and so on, but that will be like an enhancement. We want to see at the beginning of the project that already the data infrastructure exists, and you don't rely on something that will come later.
Okay, I see. And is there any restriction on what the type of data would be available to use? That needs to be available?
This is up to you to ensure that the AI services that you will create are able to create them because you have the sufficient type of data. So it's up to the model that you are creating.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
We have another question. Hello, can the data owner be a university?
Yes. It can be any entity.
And that's all. I don't know if anyone wants to ask anything else.
Any more questions? Okay, if there are no more questions, then I would say we conclude our Q&A session for today. In any case, you can contact us at I-NERGY.help@fundingbox.com if you have any further questions, or please join our community. You can see the URL here, and you have a space there also dedicated to the open call help desk. And please apply until the 12th of December. We wait for your application. The webinar recording of today and the one from the previous webinar are available on the I-NERGY website if you have any more questions. And yeah, good luck with your applications. And we're very much looking forward to them. Okay, thank you. Thank you, Spiros.
Thank you very much, Thomas.
Thank you, Yolanda, for your support.
Sorry, there is another question. Is
fantastic.
it possible to receive this presentation after the meeting to our emails?
Yes, I believe we sent the presentation to all the registered attendees. So yes.
Okay, thanks so much, everyone.
Okay, thank you, everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.